What's up YouTube, there was Zephyr Games, bringing you a budget counter fairy deck using only 3 of these. That's right, 3 of these gets you this, and it's still incredibly fun and powerful to play. Now, also stay tuned because this is our week of 7 days of celebration, where at the end I will tell you how you can win one of these Wave of Light structure decks. Very, very simple, very, very straightforward, the exact same as our past giveaways. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through our counter fairy budget deck profile. Now this, like I said, requires 3 Wave of Light structure decks. You don't use all of the cards in the structure decks, but what we do use, you do need. Anyway, we start off with 2 of the Sacred Arch Air Knight Parshaf. Ugh, get it out there. Right, the best thing about this is that he can be recycled from the graveyard. He can special summon himself from the graveyard or hand when a counter trap is activated by banishing 2, I believe it is, let me just double check, 2 other fairy monsters from your hand and or graveyard. So he's a nice little late game player. The reason I play 2 of this is because he's not a once per turn, so you can end up having 2 2800 beaters on there. And should my opponent find some way of getting rid of Parshaf, and now let's be honest, you can search it, you can bring it back from the banish zone, and of course you can revive it from the graveyard. So it's very hard to deal with him big time, so keeping 2 on board is very, very important. The other big boss monster that I use is the one that's Splendid Venus. Now you don't have to play this, you can play a third Parshaf, but with this one, all non-fairy monsters lose 500 attack defense, so it means your cards become even bigger beaters if they need be, and your effects of your spells and trap cards activated on the field cannot be negated. So that's very, very important because you do want to be making sure that you don't, you don't have your spells and traps negated. You want them to be going through. That's what the power plays of this deck is. Next up, we play triple of the new one, and that's Power Angel Valkyria, purely because it is your searcher for your deck. It searches you every light fairy monster you possibly can when you activate, if you negate the activation of a spell or trap card. And obviously that's very, very important in the deck, especially with some of your counter traps as well. Of course, like Ultimate Providence, it can be very, very powerful. But, of course, it is also a Ties of the Brethren target. You can drop it down to 2 if you want. The other more important card that you do need at 3 is Bountiful Artemis. Again, another Ties of the Brethren target, and lets you draw a card every time a counter trap resolves. Triple Honest, your all light monsters. Dropping an Honest can be very, very powerful. Plus, you can activate Ties of the Brethren and return Honest to hand to protect some of your lower level lights as well. Double Minerva, again, a Ties of the Brethren target, and this one gains 500 attack, and then if it does, and Sanctuary of the Skies on the board, you get to add a counter trap, so it gets to search. Double Harvest Angel of Wisdom, again, more targets for Ties. This is the Ties variant, and when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you target a counter trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand, so it lets you recycle. 2 Laliard, the Liberator. This allows you to recycle your banished fairy monsters. Now that's very, very important because with Eva, that we play 2 of, Eva banishes some of your some of your fairies as well, and she combos off nicely to search you out the Herald of Orange Light and of course your Herald of Green Light, which can turn into be your hand traps. Now the reason that Layards is very, very important is because we do play triple cards of Cards from the Sky, which requires you to banish a light fairy monster from your hand and draw 2 cards, but you can't conduct your battle phase or special summon after you've activated that effect. So it's very, very important when you use that card. You've got to be very sparing, and it's more because it's a draw engine in this deck. It can be very, very important to get to your counter traps and your back row. We also play triple Sanctuary of Parshaf, again, very, very important. Some of your cards do get additional effects because of it acts as Sanctuary in the Sky on the board, so it's very, very important. Because it is the Ties build, we play triple Ties, and we play the one Valhalla. If you want to change it over, put more beaters in your deck, you can change for the Valhalla. The reason I've kept Valhalla in here is because it can't be ashed, because you're bringing from the hand, but obviously Ties can. Bear in mind this is more for fun than it is for absolute domination. Double Ultimate Providence. Again, with your Guardian Ariadne, you're not discarding anything, but without your Guardian Ariadne, because you've got spells, traps, and monsters in hand, sometimes they do become dead. You've got nice, easy discard fodder. 2 Drastic Drop-Off, because the amount of times people are actually adding cards in this game at the moment in time, this can be very, very powerful and useful for the deck. 1 Light of Judgment, again, just for a little bit of fun. That it's a non-targeting send is really, really important. And if they're adding cards and you're taking them out with Drastic Drop-Off, and then you activate Light of Judgment as well to rip another one, is very, very important. The 1 Rebirth of Parshaf, because we've only got the one Parshath monster in our deck. Because it says it special summons a Parshath monster, you can of course bring out your Sacred Arch Air Knight. It does require a lot of discard and play fodder, so you don't really want to be activating this unless you've got Guidant Ariadne in scale. So that's very, very important on that one there. And then of course the one Solemn Warning. Now the reason the counter trap count is low is because it is the Ties variant, and with the Ties variant we are playing cards that allows us to recycle these counter traps. And with the actual deck itself, the counter traps that came with it weren't the best, in the sense that stuff like Dark Bribe, I don't want to be allowing my opponent to draw cards and additional effects like that. So you've got to be very, very careful and conservative with your resources. Anyway, now on to what you guys want to know the most of, and that is how you can win one of these decks yourself. Very, very simple, the exact same as all the ones before. The link is below. All you have to do is follow that Gleam link. It will take you to basically a survey where you complete as many tasks as you possibly want, and each task you complete gives you an entry into the giveaway. Very simple, very straightforward. You've done it a million times before, so you can do it again a couple more times, especially if you want a Wave of the Light structure deck. Very straightforward, very, very simple. Anyway, I hope this deck profile has kind of helped you out, give you a basis. I'm not saying this is the best deck profile for it. It's just a starting base for you to work around and build, whether you want to go to the Ties variant or the counter version variant. We will be bringing you a full powered deck version tomorrow for you guys to kind of see it and how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Enter the giveaway. Don't be foolish. Till next time, guys, as always, best of luck and happy dueling. What's up, YouTube? Thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.